Institut Teknologi 10 November. A place where the spirit of heroism underlies the new generation to research and innovate in technology. The University of Heroes, ITS. ITS is one of the best science and technology universities in Indonesia, which was founded by Dr. Angga in 1957. In every step, ITS focuses in advancing education, research, management, and community service. As an incorporated public university, ITS has been able to manage autonomously the policy of academics, organizations, finance, students' affairs, human resources, facilities, operational, and infrastructure.
In the spirit of Indonesian heroes, during the battle in the 10th of November 1945, ITS always makes efforts to be the best in education, research, and community services, especially in the fields of industry and maritime. ITS also actively contributes to the nation development, and in the future, ITS will become an entrepreneurial university with world-class reputation.
ITS has many achievements. Both national and international achievements prove that ITS keeps growing and gives the best contribution to the nation of Indonesia. ITS is a place for new hopes to grow. An ideal environment for the new generation to flourish in 3 strategic locations within the industrial city of Surabaya. As a smart eco-campus, ITS maintains harmony between technological advances and the sustainability of the surrounding ecosystem. ITS has 7 faculties with prospective scientific fields, including Scientics, INSIS, Vocation, Creatis, Martech, Electrics, Plan. ITS is a space for the new generation who are hungry for knowledge because it provides a wide range of references in both physical and digital form. ITS makes it easier for the new generation to access information by providing flexible classes. ITS keeps moving forward in facing future challenges by providing the best facilities for the new generation's activities. The facilities support both spiritual and physical needs. ITS also provides research facilities in the ITS Science Technopark, including ICT and robotics, automotive, maritime, and creative industries. Therefore, the excellent generations from ITS will emerge and make history. ITS is a space for the new generation to express themselves. ITS is a place where the new generation learns new things and finds their purpose. ITS has become a place where the new generations that carry the future will be born.
ITS is a campus of science and technology, which focuses on the research and innovation, presenting technology for prosperity.
With a spirit of heroism, ITS brings the future before us. ITS, the University of Heroes.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we start commence the program, and here are the following webinar protocol. For each participant ID, please use your real name following with your origin of institution. All of participants are expected to mute the audio and only unmute the video during the event. We cordially invite you to take your own firm and comfort seat in your own room and please avoid the backlight. Make sure that you have a good and stable internet connection. If you have an earphone or headset, we recommend you to use it so that your voice can clearly and loudly to be heard. During the Q&A discussion session, all participants, please use the chat box to deliver the questions. Thank you for your cooperation and consideration. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we start commence the program, and here are the following webinar protocol. For each participant ID, please use your real name following with your origin of institution. All of participants are expected to mute the audio and only unmute the video during the event. We cordially invite you to take your own firm and comfort seat in your own room and please avoid the backlight. Make sure that you have a good and stable internet connection. If you have an earphone or headset, we recommend you to use it so that your voice can clearly and loudly to be heard. During the Q&A discussion session, all participants, please use the chat box to deliver the questions. Thank you for your cooperation and consideration.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we would like to congratulate you to join on the researcher and research student attachment program on the period of June 10, the topic of the presentation skills. Today, we will have the guest speaker, Dr. Ismaniza Ismail. Thank you for your coming, Dr. Ismaniza. And also, we'd like to express our grateful thank you to Dr. Triyanda Gunawan. Thank you, Dr. Triyanda, for the coming. And then please, for the operator to move on to the next slides. Okay, this is the webinar protocol for today. Please turn off your microphone and sit comfortably, and then also turn on your camera. Using your name on the screen and adjust your name using the format S2 or S3 underscore name underscore department, so we can easily recognize you. Please move to the next slide. The operator, okay. This is the topic for today, presentation skills. This is the period of the June 10. We will have about one more session for the stream sciences. Please move on to the next slide. I would like to read the curriculum vitae of the moderator, Dr. Triyanda Gunawan. He is a lecturer and researcher at the Department of Chemistry, Institut Teknologi 10 November. He graduated his PhD in chemistry in Institut Teknologi 10 November in 2019, and then graduated from the bachelor's degree in chemistry also in the Institut Teknologi 10 November in 2015. So Dr. Triyanda has joined PMDSU. It's like a short track after you pass the bachelor's, and then you move on directly to the PhD without master's. And then the research interests is a porous material, gas separation, surface adsorption, and also membrane science. For the next sessions, I would like to give to Dr. Triyanda Gunawan. The floor is yours, Pak Triyanda.
Okay, thank you, Miss Yashinta, for your kind introduction. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon,
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, so can you hear me clearly?
Would you please louder, please, Dr. Triyanda, a little bit louder.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you all for spending time and visiting today's webinar. As host mentioned earlier, my name is Triyanda, and I will be your moderator in today's webinar. So before we start, I would like to introduce our spectacular speaker for today's topic, which is presentation skills. Her name is Dr. Ismaniza Ismail, and she holds many various professional and academic experience. For instance, she is a senior lecturer in University Technology Mara since 2012, and a tutor or subject matter expert in the Open University Malaysia since 2017. And also, she is a trainer in Malaysia Safety of Occupational Safety and Health since 2019. She received her Bachelor of Science honors in Environmental Technology back in 2003 in University Technology Mara. 3 years later, she received Master of Biotechnology in the University of Queensland, Australia. And 10 years since she received her master. She received a PhD in Occupational and Environmental Hygiene, University of Adelaide, Australia. Her research interests are in the occupational and environmental hygiene, public health, safety and health, and environmental studies. Good afternoon, Dr. Ismaniza. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Okay, I'm very good, thank you. And you yourself?
Okay, nice to meet you. Are you ready for giving us some of your insight about presentation skills?
Yes.
Okay, so without taking any longer introduction, I would like to please Dr. Ismaniza to present for today's topic. The screen is yours. Thank you.
Stop the sharing first.
So while waiting, Dr. Ismaniza, everyone please fill the attendance form. The link is given in the Zoom chat box. Thank you. Okay, so you are ready, Dr. Ismaniza?
Yes.
Okay, good. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Yes, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. I am very honored to be invited to share some of the information that might be useful to you today, right? So I hope that it's going to benefit you somehow. At the moment, we can see there are 49 participants. There could be a bit more later on, but that's all right. Okay, to some of you, this topic may be just a normal one, a very an unimportant one. Okay, but well, let's see what I can share with you later. All right. When I was given this topic, I thought like, okay, this is gonna be very ironic to me because if my presentation is boring, then people might not believe what I'm trying to say about, delivering presentation effectively. But well, anyway, I hope that you can grin and bear with me for the next hour or so, okay, and see what we can get. Okay, so first thing first, I bet that all of you know what is a presentation. Okay, basically it's about delivering information verbally, okay, or orally with a set of techniques and skills. Okay, so you have to have the right technique, the right skills to impart the knowledge to others. Okay, it can be a long pre-planned talk. Okay, it can be a short impromptu lecture. Okay, it can be a speech at a wedding. It can also be a training session. Okay, so there are various types of a presentation that we are talking about here now. Okay, right now we are having an information giving session, which is pretty much like a lecture. Okay, and there are also the other two types. Okay, which may be relevant, which may not be to you. The one is demonstrative, which is a workshop, okay, or masterclass. That could be a bit more of like a show and tell session, all right, in which people might, have something to show to you, to demonstrate to you how is it used, how does it work, the mechanism, and so on, all right. Whereas the third type might be a bit closer to your heart in terms of the conference presentation, okay, attending a viva. Okay, I bet that most of you here today fall into this category. Okay, but I'm not surprised if sooner or later you can also benefit from this topic to do presentations in the other two types, right? So well, seeing that the presentation is pretty much common around us, okay, I wonder how many presentations have you conducted throughout your whole life? Okay, can we get some, random answers, maybe in the chat box, and maybe the moderator can read out the answers for me? How
Yeah.
many presentations have you conducted throughout your whole life? Okay, maybe from the high school, and then maybe while doing your diploma, your bachelor degree, your master's degree, or yeah, to date, how many presentations?
Okay, so Salma said more than 30,
More than?
maybe 15. We have two participants, Salma. She said she, or I think she said she has more than 30.
More than 30, you see? So this is nothing new actually. You have a lot of experience delivering presentations. Okay, and recently, that was 2 days ago actually, we had a conference, okay, and I had to evaluate the video presentation. Okay, that is a pre-recorded video presentation to be given marks. Okay, surprisingly, I realized that there are still a lot of people who are lacking in terms of these skills. Okay, and this is not only applicable to students, but also to academicians. Okay, and then it made me wonder, how do they make the session interesting if this is how they deliver the presentations? Okay, so while saying that you have done a lot of presentations all this while, 30, 50, or maybe a bit more than that, what's the big deal? Okay, what we are going to learn today may be something that you already knew or may not be, but that's all right. Let's see. Yeah. So the first rule says that we want to captivate the audience. Okay, the audience should feel captivated. We want them to go ooh and ah. Okay, we want them to be inspired by our topic. We want to tell them something new, something that they haven't heard of. Okay, like a finding of a research. Okay, that is you know that is nerve wracking. Okay, that is something that they have been wondering what is it all about. Okay, so your audience should be captivated and not a captive. Okay, we don't want you to feel like you have to be here, right? I wonder, out of all of you here, how many of you have to be here? Okay, you feel like obliged to be here, so you are here involuntarily. Okay, maybe you are here for the attendance, maybe it was made compulsory for you to attend. Okay, or maybe if it is a face-to-face presentation, I understand. Yeah, I've been in your shoe before. Sometimes I attend, this kind of presentation just for the sake of the coffee. Okay, just for catching up with friends. Okay, because that's when we get together. Okay, it's just that now it's more of an online session, so well, you may not get that privilege, but maybe you might still have to attend it just because it is made compulsory to you, right? Anyway, whatever it is, make sure that it is captivating. It captures the heart of the audience, and not making them a captive. All right. So it is very important for you to focus on what the audience need to know, because what they need to know is nice to know. Okay, remember, need to know is nice to know, right? Because if you deliver something that might be irrelevant to them, they might feel like, oh, what is this? This is bullshit, or this is, I don't need to know all these things. And then you might end up being like this guy here. Okay, feeling sleepy. Okay, it might be relevant to this guy, the information given. Okay, that's why he is paying attention to that. Okay, so you focus on what the audience need to know. If you are going to present your research outcome, and then likely the audience would like to know what is it all about. You might want to emphasize on the significance of the study. Okay, so what have you discovered, right? So focus on what they need to know and not what you know. Okay, because if you talk about what you know, there's going to be a lot of information that may be irrelevant to them. Okay, it's going to be like, what is this? She is going around the bushes talking about so many things, which is nonsense, okay, to some people. All right, so they might not be interested. Okay, that's about the presentation as in general. Yeah. One more thing when it comes to giving talks, it's about the speaker. You have to have the energy. So you want to be excited. Okay. You want to, if you need to walk around, you do it. Okay. Just be excited like Oprah here. Okay. Or maybe if it is too much, okay, depending on what kind of presentation you are talking about, you might not want to do this because this might be overrated. But doing something like this is always good. Okay. I bet all of you might have heard of multi-level marketing before. Okay, in which a group of people of similar business interests gather together and they are motivated by the speaker. They talk about what they want to achieve. They talk about their targets. Okay, they talk about how they want to, achieve their objectives and target sales on daily or monthly basis. Okay, so be excited because when you are excited, that is only when the audience will be more excited. Okay, if it is, if the audience see the speaker is just a boring person, staring at you just like that with monotonous voice and not moving, without moving hands, with gestures and so on, then you can expect, what's going to happen to the audience. Guys, I'm not sure whether you have heard of the 3-minute thesis. Have you? 3-minute thesis? Okay, maybe you can answer, in the chat box. 3MT. Okay, Mr. Moderator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Salma said yes.
Okay, some have heard of the 3-minute thesis. Okay, what about the rest of you? She can't be the only one who have heard of it.
Sabira said no.
No, okay, all right. It is actually an international competition, okay, in which postgraduate students will have to sell their study, okay, not sell, I mean sell, like explain about their study, okay, in 3 minutes only. Just imagine if you pursue your PhD for 3 or 4 years or a bit more than that, okay, then you have everything in only 3 minutes. You have to talk about the problem, you have to talk about the significance of the study, okay, you have to talk about the objectives and then what you found, okay, and then what's the conclusion, whether it is something big or small. Okay, how long did you take to finish your PhD, doctor?
Me? 3
Yeah,
years.
you. 3 years.
3 years.
Okay,
yeah.
so you just imagine a 3-year work to be compressed in only 3 minutes. Okay, you have to select only important information to be delivered, and not only that, you have to avoid raps. You cannot rap, you cannot sing, okay, you cannot recite poems. It's just like normal presentation, okay. And to attract the audience, you are not allowed to wear props, okay, you are not allowed to wear costumes, you cannot bring any lab equipment just to impress the audience. It's just you standing there, okay, on the stage, facing all the audience, and then there's only one slide, okay, one normal slide, non-animated, okay, behind you to show your topic, or maybe some pictures if you want, okay, but on only one slide, right? So if you haven't heard of the 3-minute thesis, please do some search on YouTube and you will be able to see some good examples. It has been conducted since years ago, so you might be able to see examples from Australia, from Malaysia, from other countries as well, okay, or maybe from Indonesia itself. I'm not sure that it's very common in Indonesia. Maybe Salma has heard it somewhere else. Yeah. All right. Okay. So before we continue further, okay, let's take out your mobile phone, okay, and scan this QR code. Okay. Or maybe if you are listening this on your mobile, you can open the browser and go to menti.com, okay, and key in that code number. It's 500-79580. Okay, can you do that? All right. Is it working well with you guys?
Can I also join this one, Doctor?
Sorry?
Can I also join this website, the mentor
Yep.
one?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Did you get the? Hold on.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's give like another 1 or 2 minutes for the rest of you who might want to, contribute to the answers. You might have the same answer, but that doesn't matter. Just put in your answer there. Where we should be able to see the real-time updates. Okay. Any one of you missed out the QR code? Got the QR code? Do you see the results of the?
Yeah, it's being emailed, but I haven't received the emails yet.
Sorry?
Yeah, the result is sent through my email, but I haven't received the emails yet.
All right. Can you see the results that I project on the slide? I mean, on the screen?
Oh, not yet. It's still the same slide, the QR code one.
Okay. Okay, then I guess I should. I should stop sharing. I should reshare with you guys. Okay. Right. Now you can see.
Yes.
Okay. You see, the word which is in a bigger font indicates that it appears more than once. If more people are choosing that answer. Okay, so many people talk about whale, because that's obviously a whale there. Impossible. Okay. Imagination, plane, freedom sky, hot air balloon. Okay. Any other answers? No. Okay, I guess that's it for this. The update. Let's just do one more time. Yeah, refresh one more time. There's any other interesting answers there? Creative whale that live in the sky. Wow. Okay. Why is a whale flying? A whale flying two kids. A whale flying. Whale hurting. Wow. Interesting. You see, all those little ones. Yeah. Okay. Don't pay attention on the big ones. Okay. I want you to focus on the, small answers there. Like, what is a whale flying? Flying two kids. Whale that live in the sky. Whale hurting. The whale is hurting. Okay. Similar answer there. All right. So So let me share my slide again. Okay, so now it's back on the slides, right? Betul?
Yes, the content.
Okay, yeah. So you see, from the exercise that we had just now, yeah, it shows how people perceive things. Okay, some people think that it is impossible. Some people just look at it as a whale. Okay, some people feel like, oh, why is this whale hurting? Okay, pretty whale. Okay, some people think, oh, the whale is flying. There's a whale in the sky. Some people look at it as a hot air balloon, right? So, well, that indicates people may perceive things differently. Some people find it weird. Some people might find it interesting. Okay, but the gist here is that it makes people think, what does the illustrator want to convey? Okay, so similarly in presentations, we want to make sure the audience know what we want to convey. Okay, so back to the presentation skills. Well, we want our contents to be clear. Okay, clear, as as the crystal. We want it to be simple, structured, and also consistent. Right. Speaking of that, yeah. Recently there was a talk, okay, conducted somewhere else. I have cropped and covered all the aspects that might cause humiliation. I got this invitation. Yeah. It's about the talk on COVID-19, on how to overcome stress, okay, mental health issues, and so on during this pandemic. Okay, so what triggered me was that when I saw, maybe I should ask you guys, okay, what is the most eye-catching part in this slide? Can anyone please answer in the chat box? What's the most eye-catching part? Any answers? Director, can you please read out the answer for me?
Salma said the photo.
Yeah?
Salma said the photo, and also the other said the censored part.
The photo.
COVID-19, emoji, the topic, stress with caps lock from Adila.
All right. Okay. All right. So you see, people look at it differently. Okay. What captured my attention at that time was this title. Okay. I wasn't sure whether I should attend it because is this delivered by an officer in psychology, or is he a psychotic himself? You see, it could be senior psychology officer or senior psychological officer, which brings a different connotation. All right. So, well, that is why I said during a presentation, we have to be meticulous, not only from the title, but every single thing that we put on the slide, okay, including what we deliver, what we say, what comes out from our mouth. It should be clear. It should be simple. I guess this is pretty much simple, okay, what we see on the slide here. Right? It should be structured in terms of having outlines, headings, and subheadings. That is to make it well organized so that people can follow the flow. All right. And last but not least, it should also be consistent. Consistent in this case is like, having a good color scheme. Okay, it's not like, sometimes the slide is green, sometimes the screen is blue. Okay, so it's, it is eyesore. It is an eyesore, which is not nice. Yeah. If you choose to use clip arts or photos, okay, make sure that it is consistent, because otherwise it's going to be, distracting to the audience. All right. In terms of preparing the slides, you might want to choose whether you want to put words or graphics. Okay, so what is best? Some people prefer words. Okay, like this slide here that we have. Okay. Well, to me, this is a very wordy slide, which is not of my preference. I don't like very wordy slides because people tend to read the slides. Okay, and it is, to me, it is insulting when the speaker read the slides. Okay, in my experience, if my students read the slides, I would stop them halfway, saying that I can mime you from here. Like, I know what's your next word. So are you trying to say that I am illiterate? Okay, so try to avoid reading the slides, yeah, and try to avoid wordy slides like this. And instead, you might want to use graphics. Okay, graphics are good. Okay, you can put it. It simplifies the information that you need to deliver, and people can look at the graphic as you explain about the findings. Okay, as you explain which one is higher, which one is lower. Okay, when does it peak, and so on and so forth. Right. So what we can say here is that, well, there's nothing wrong about having words in your slide, but make sure that it is not too wordy. Okay, otherwise people might feel offended. Okay, because it's it's you have to peruse to make sure that you get the keywords. Okay, it is best to keep it simple. Okay, to keep it short with bullets. Okay, like this in bullet form. Okay, like not more than one slide every 2 minutes. Okay, don't stay too long in one slide. Okay, don't flash it too fast. Otherwise, people might not be able to read what is written there. Okay, so well, when it comes to graphics, graphics can improve understanding or impact. Okay, it saves time for interest. So just try to make sure that it is simple yet eye-catchy. Okay. So look at this picture that I put here. Can you find the mistake? Answers, please. The chat box.
Salma said double the.
Okay, someone is very sharp, yeah? Your eyes are very sharp, very good. Okay, what about the rest of you? Before you heard the answer, what about the rest of you? Did you manage, or were you focusing on the numbers? Is it in the right sequence? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, the number is in the right sequence. So what's wrong with that? Okay, chances are, people tend to do all this kind of mistakes. Okay. All right. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that when you put graphics or words, make sure you try to avoid spelling errors or typo errors. We don't want grammatical errors either. Okay, something like this. You are talking about perfection. Okay, yeah, it is that ironic. Well, because it has a grammatical error. Okay, it is supposed to be perfection has its price without the apostrophe there. Okay, and that is not that critical as compared to this one. You just imagine, just a little typo, okay, spelling error there, it gives the wrong interpretation of what it meant. Okay, so we don't want this thing to happen. Make sure when you want to put words on your slide, make sure that you check, okay, the spelling, check the grammar. Okay, it may be minor to you, but under some circumstances, it can also affect the audience perception towards you. Okay, fonts. Right, it is known that when we prepare slides, sometimes we choose fonts, nice fonts. Okay, but what type of fonts do we like? Of course, we would try to use all these messy fonts. Okay, but research have shown that Arial is very good. Okay, Arial font, because it can help dyslexic people to read. Okay, Times New Roman are also good. And you might want to avoid Comic Sans, because especially if you are presenting something serious. Okay, so I guess that's the gist of fonts. Right, moving on to the next one is about the slide transition. Okay, this is about when you use animation on your slides. Okay, from one point to the other, you might animate it a bit. Okay, and when there is a sequence, you might want to put it like this, like a flow. Follow one by one. Okay, and when you're focusing on something, you might want to do it something like this, or whatever it is. When it comes to slide transition, you might want to avoid those sound effects, like the swooshing sound effects or ringing sound effects as the slide comes in. Okay, it is unnecessary, because otherwise people might be distracted. Okay, and all that matters is that what is written on the slide and what is delivered by the speaker. Okay. So, any questions so far? And all good? Okay. Next, we are going to move on to delivery. Okay. So delivery, we are going to look at physical appearance, and then we are going to look at voice. Then it's also about facial expression, eye contact, and hand or body gesture. Right. So those 4 aspects. Okay, ready? First one is about the physical appearance. All right. So, you know, when we look at people, it's always the first impression, right? Okay. So you will never get the second chance to make the first impression. The first time people see you, it's like, okay, she's beautiful or not. Okay. Or maybe he's a bit messy. Okay. So it's, you know, that's the first impression before people start talking to you or before people listen to you. Right. I hope that I look good today. All right. Anyway, physical appearance can be in the form of the color that you choose, okay, or maybe your hairstyle, or in my case, my hijab style. I always get this feedback from the audience asking about, you know, my hijab. Right? Maybe jewelry, watches that you wear. Maybe nails. Okay, you don't want, if you do manicures. Okay, you don't want to have, you know, something that is too distracting to the audience. Okay, so just be careful with your physical appearance. Yeah. Okay, and that leads us to the 4 Fs. Okay, the 4 Fs here that we have. The first one is the function. Okay, how do you dress for the function? Okay, you have to consider what do you want to do during the presentation. Will you be just sitting? Okay, or will you be standing? Or will you be walking around? Okay, if you are going to write or draw on the flip chart, make sure that you have a minimum number of layers on the sleeves. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to be comfy. Okay. For that, you might want to avoid long flowing dress, okay, which is not suitable. A dress rehearsal will help you. Yeah. When you wear what you want to wear during the presentation, it might, you know, tell you whether this is suitable or not. If it is uncomfortable, then you might want to change, right? So if you need to move around, choose the correct type of shoes, the comfy type, not sneakers, okay, but a good dress shoe, a good pair of dress shoes would do. Okay, make sure that you know, it is of the right color, not too, you know, eye catchy because it is the shoes. Make it look decent, all right? And then the second point is about formality. Okay, how formal do you need to be? Right? Do you need to wear a tie for guys? Okay, or if it is just a smart casual thingy, maybe you can just wear some, you know, a shirt, a tucked-in shirt, you know, with pants, and that's all that matters. That's good enough. Okay, for ladies, okay, make sure that you wear accordingly. Okay, don't wear something that is pretty much like the dress that you wear when you go out to the market. Okay, like my case when I presented for the 3-minute thesis, it was during winter. Okay, so during winter, people couldn't care less about, you know, what you dress, because after all, what we put on top is just a winter coat. So I make sure my winter coat looks good. Okay, it is of the correct color. It's not too flashy. It's not yellow, you know, because it's too bright. In that case, right? So that's about formality. Right. The third factor is fit. Okay, fit in this case is very important because we want you to feel comfortable. Okay, a good fit allows you to feel comfortable. A good fit factor your natural figure. Okay, and they hide any imperfections. Right? We understand that the definition of fits well may differ between cultures. Okay, we don't want you to wear skimpy clothes either. Okay, for Muslims especially, right? But this is not about body shaming. Yeah, this is about wearing clothes that send the right message. Okay, we don't want people to be distracted with what you wear. If you wear something that is too tight, okay, whether that we want you to wear something too baggy because it may look uncomfortable. Okay, it's flowing everywhere. Okay, so nobody has the perfect body shape. Okay, but we do best with what we have. Okay, I myself, I am too skinny, but when presenting, I make sure that the dress that I wear doesn't make me look too skinny. Okay, so that's pretty much about it now, yeah? All right, the fourth factor is the focus. Okay, so when you give presentations, just guess, where should the audience focus be directed to? Okay, do they focus on your slides, on you, on their phones, or random thoughts like thinking about somewhere else, looking at the ceiling, looking at talking to the person sitting next to them? Well, actually, the focus would be on you. Okay, that is why you have to make sure that you look good. Okay, in terms of physical appearance, and that leads me to the next point, which is about the choice of shoes, the choice of clothing that you wear. No loud shoes. Okay, we don't want shoes that if you need to walk around, it makes sounds. Okay, if you want to wear jewelry, keep it minimum. We don't want it to be over glittering. Okay, if you wear a hijab, you might not want to wear brooches that is too flashy, too tacky, too large. With earrings if you don't wear hijab. Okay, because if the lights hit them, say if you are the center of attraction on the stage, it would give distractions. Okay, so you don't want the focus to be on others, okay, except for yourself. Yourself might not distracted with the unnecessary items. Okay, avoid wearing hats, avoid wearing fancy socks. Okay, this is not the time, because when it comes to giving presentations, sometimes you have to be serious. Okay, and when we talk about physical appearance, put on some makeup. This is not about heavy makeup. Okay, just to make sure your face doesn't look oily. Okay, it's about drawing attention to your face, because they might be looking at you, focusing on your lips. Okay, how your lips move. Okay, what you talk, and then smile. Okay, because when you smile, that's when people pay attention to you. All right, that's about the physical appearance, which is the first factor. Okay, the next point is about voice, right? Studies have shown that 7% of what we understand comes from the words. Okay, words that you say, but 38% of the information comes from the tone of voice. Okay, you just imagine if someone talks to you with a monotonous voice, right? There's no variation in the in the voice. Okay, you want people to hear you, to listen to you. Okay, so make sure that you project your voice to the back of the room. Okay, and in this case, because we are listening, like it's an online session, might not be a big deal. Okay, so when you want to start your presentation, you might want to tell compelling stories. Okay, tell experience. Okay, share what you have experienced before, how did you do it. Okay, when you were little. Okay, or relate it with what happens to you on daily lives. Okay, you may want to use analogies or metaphors for that matter. Okay, because that is how it enhances your voice, okay, your delivery in terms of voice. Okay, and make sure that it is clear, your voice is clear, so that it is easily understood. And there should be a variation in terms of your voice. Okay, you don't want to be too loud at all times. Sometimes the voice is high, sometimes it goes low. Okay, so for pronunciation, especially, you want it to pronounce it well. Okay, you don't want people to be able to detect this is your first time saying this word. Okay, for example, I always use this term maneuverability, okay, in my lecture. Okay, because when it comes to wearing bulky PPE, like chemical protective clothing, like the hazmat suit, okay, they have to be able to maneuver, themselves, to do their task. Okay, well, even if it is the longest word registered in the dictionary, like in industrial hygiene, in my field, it is about pneumono ultramicroscopy silicovolcanoconiosis. Okay, so it sounds flawless, because you have, done your homework on how it is pronounced. Okay, you don't want to be saying like facial expression. Okay, you don't want to be, pronouncing it like that, because it indicates that you are not prepared, or maybe this slide was prepared by someone else. Okay, so when it comes to facial expression, it should tell. Okay, your face should tell what you deliver. Okay, you might want to use different facial expression. When you're happy, you smile. Okay, your eyes light up. Okay, when you are talking about something sad. Okay, or when you are angry about an issue that you talk about. Okay, so your face, might frown a bit. Okay, so you don't want to be, having like this stormtrooper face, where it looks all the same, okay, regardless of the emotion. Okay. Next, okay, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is the fourth factor, that is the eye contact. Okay, eye contact is very important to make people understand what you want to deliver. Okay, you don't want to be looking at the ceiling because the audience are not on the ceiling. I know that you are nervous, okay, but treat the audience as individual listeners. They need to listen to you. Okay, so before you speak, take a moment to skim through the the room for friendly faces. Okay, like right now I don't see your faces, so it is much easier for me. Okay, but you can connect with them, by engaging them. Okay, so that when you look at them, they feel sense of belonging. They feel that they matter. They feel they matter. Okay. Okay. Try to involve everyone in the conversation. I know if it is a large crowd, it is very hard for you to have eye contact with each and every one of the audience. That is almost impossible. Okay, but at least you can divide the audience into sections. Okay, in which to the right, okay, you know that you'll be looking at this person. Okay, but in the middle, you'll be looking at 2 or 3 faces alternately. Okay, and to the left, so on and so forth. Okay, so don't follow a pattern, but otherwise you would appear unnatural. You don't want to be, right, middle, left, right, middle, left. Okay, you can always switch. Okay, make it natural. Okay, and try to sustain eye contact for 5 seconds at least. Why 5 seconds? Because that's long enough to make a connection. Okay, don't stare for too long. Okay, if you stare for too long at someone, it may be a bit too creepy. Okay, or it may create stress to the audience. Why is she staring at me for too long? Is she interested in me, or is she having a rage or something like that? Yeah. Okay, and to avoid you from forgetting the words, that is why we talk about eye contact. You have to practice. That's all. Sometimes we look at the ceiling or the floor because we struggle to find the right words. It's like, oh, I forgot what's the word. Okay, it's always like that. Okay, but you don't do this for too long. Okay, because otherwise you feel disconnected from the audience, and it's very hard to get back. Okay, so how you can avoid this is by having a lot of practices. Okay. Next, it's about body and hand gestures. All right. By now, I guess that you have realized that I use a lot of hand gestures here. If you don't know, sometimes you just shrug. Okay. If you are thinking, you don't say, okay, I've been thinking. You don't say, stand still like that. Yeah. I've been thinking, something that comes to my mind. You do a brain tap, right? So it is more engaging actually when you have body and hand gestures. Okay, but bear in mind when it comes to international conferences, you might want to be a bit more careful. Okay, because say if you attend a conference in the United States, okay, may not be the same as you attend a conference in the United Kingdom. Okay, because a piece like this in the in the US it is a piece, but in the UK it means I'm yours. Okay, that's not that critical because it's still not too bad. But if you do gestures like this, okay, okay in the United States will mean something else in the France or Belgium. and that means you're worthless, and you don't want people to be offended with you. Yeah? Not knowing is one thing, but being ignorant is another thing. Okay, and you don't want to fall into this category. All right, so when it comes to body and hand gestures, you want to grab the attention of the audience, so you want to create more dynamic messages, right? How do you do this? So if you are talking about 3 things, for instance, yeah, you just use active counting. Okay, things number 1 is like this, number 2 is this, and number 3 is this. Okay, so that is one good gesture, yeah. Okay, second one, you can use a karate chop. Okay, you can say something like, all right, today I want to share with you about presentation skills. Okay, karate chop like that. Can you see, me a bit, right? Okay. So, other than that, you can also use a backhand slap. Okay, like this. This is the way we do it. Okay, this is the way a good presentation is done. Okay, but don't do it too often, and because the slapping sound might be distracting. I think you can hear the sound, right? Yeah. So we don't want that to be, too exaggerating. Okay. And then other than that, if you are talking about the opposites, you can say this and that. Okay, just move your hands right or left, right or left. Okay, so that's also a good hand gesture. Other than that, you can also use a fist pump. Okay, fist pump. That is to show an excitement. Okay, for example, if you are presenting about your research finding, okay, we can say that the most important finding from this study is blah, 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 blah. Okay, the most important finding. Okay, but your face should be like that. Okay, you can't be like the most important finding with, a poker face like that. Okay, people will be looking at your face. Is she okay? Right? So with face like this, most important, right? Other options, the 6th one, this is pretty common that people do hands like this, just to play safe, okay, to behave, okay, showing that as if everything is good, okay, I'm behaving, I'm talking about something serious, okay, but you don't want to be doing that too much, yeah, otherwise it would be, not so good, yeah, not engaging to the audience. Okay, alternatively, you can also do an air quote. Okay, air quotes like this. It means sarcasm or hidden meaning. I think you realize that I used this just now. Okay. For example, oh yeah, I attended Dr. Ismaniza's presentation. It was a nice one. Nice one. So I know that it means otherwise, yeah. All right. Another option is like, pointing up. Okay, that is just like an aha moment. Okay, when you want to tell people, I've been thinking about something. What's the word? Yeah, now I remember. It means something like this. It is this. So there's nothing wrong about, funny, but just don't overdo it. Like, it shouldn't be above your head level. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit too much. Okay. And other than that, you can also have, you can do palm rubbing like this, like anticipating something. Maybe, like in the beginning of my session just now, I should have just said like, all right, in the next hour, I'll be sharing with you something about presentation skills. Okay, so that is anticipation. Okay, so it is up to you what types of body or hand gesture you want to use. Just make sure that you use a suitable one, okay, that delivers the correct message. Okay, just checking the time. Right. So now that we have known all the rules, okay, I know that it's pretty common for people to feel nervous, okay, when it comes to presentation. So it is to calm the butterflies in your stomach, okay? There's no way to do it. It's just by relaxing, okay? And to be relaxed, you have to be confident, okay? Because when you are confident, then everything will go as normal, okay? To be confident, you must be prepared, okay? And you must rehearse, Okay, that's the rule. Keep in mind that you are the master of that topic, because if you are talking about your study, okay, or you are presenting an assignment, that is your assignment. Okay, so you should know the content. Okay, so don't stutter, don't feel nervous, don't feel, oh, what am I going to talk about next? You are the master behind it, you should know, right? And that can be done maybe, okay, from my experience, sometimes I talk to myself when I'm driving. Okay, it helps. Okay, well, I just hope that the drivers in the other cars might not realize that she's talking to herself, because nowadays we can use hands-free, right, while driving, so at least it's not that awkward. Okay, I talk to myself when driving, especially when it comes to topics of my interest or of my expertise. It flows very smoothly. But when it comes to a general topic, I stutter a bit. It's like the flow is not that smooth because I have to think. Okay, but I bet when it comes to presentation, it is always presenting about what you know best, so it should flow smoothly. Okay, and when it comes to rehearsing, you can rehearse and learn, okay, the content and the structure, of course. Okay, you can rehearse in terms of talking loudly. Okay, rehearsing to talking aloud is not the same as rehearsing, like mumbling to yourself. It's not the same because you have to project your voice. Okay, in Australia where I studied, it is pretty common to see people, okay, standing in the public, maybe near the park or on the pathway, just talking. Okay, talking loudly. Okay, like debating, talking about something very important, like a revolution, things like that. Yeah, and they are practicing just to improve themselves in giving presentations. Okay, in talking in the public. Okay, I don't want you to do that. Not, you don't have to do that in the public. Okay, if you don't want to, because you might have the fear of being laughed at. Okay, but you might want to rehearse in the physical environment itself. Okay, say if it is a presentation that's going to take place in an auditorium, a big auditorium. Okay, it is good to be in that auditorium facing all the empty chairs, just to give an idea of how it feels like. Okay, of course, it's not the same as rehearsing in the bathroom. Okay, but alternatively, you can also rehearse in front of a mirror. Okay, rehearse in front of a video camera. Okay, and also rehearse in front of other people. You can get feedbacks from your friends. Okay, you can get feedbacks from your haters. Okay, because they could be a bit more critical. Because if you ask your friends, sometimes they might be nice to you, like, oh, don't worry, everything is good. Okay, your presentation is perfect. Okay, fine. Okay, perfectly fine. But you might want to get the real answer. Okay, if you don't like it, they can comment on it. Okay, and also time the rehearsals. Okay, if you need to deliver the talk in 1 hour, for instance, like my case, I just hope that I won't overrun time. Okay, otherwise it's going to be well, it's not nice, yeah, because it might affect other people's time. Okay, especially at conferences. If you allocated 15 minutes, then keep it to 15 minutes. Because if you take 5 times and then the next presenter takes an extra 5 times, then it's going to affect the next speakers, so on and so forth. Yeah. All right. So that's about rehearsing. All right. So to conclude, okay, from from my talk today, I can say that first you have to set your goals. You have to know what you want to address. Okay, and show some passion. When you are passionate about what you are going to talk about, right, then you can deliver well, right? I hope I deliver well because, I like to talk. I like presenting. I like presenting. Okay, I give a lot of trainings. I give a lot of talks. I just hope that none of you fall asleep, yeah, back there, right? And always make sure that you are well prepared. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Because once you fail to prepare, actually you prepare to fail, right? So that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you gain something from today's session. And I guess maybe it's about time for Q&A, but I pass it to the moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ismaniza. I'm sorry, for the great talk. Yeah, So there are a lot of things for the presentation that I just realized you just pinpoint it. So maybe that is a new one for me, especially this one that I reach out is the eye contact. 5 seconds is enough to make connection. Maybe that's called the love in the first sight.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so so we are move on to the Q&A session. We have several questions for our speaker and for you guys who are interested if you have any queries, you can write down your question in the link that has given by committee or just in the chat Zoom, or you can just speak it out by pressing the raise hand button. Okay, so the first question is from the Wan Marhaini bin Wan Harum. A doctor, can we use the aesthetic font for title in presentation instead of the formal font?
Okay, it depends on, thank you for the question, Warmahani. You are asking about fonts, okay? It is okay to use other fonts, it depends on what presentation that you are referring to, okay? But I would say to be on the safe side, even it is presenting to your classmates, say an assignment, just stick to common fonts like this, okay, that is easy to the eyes, okay, because if it is too fancy, it may show how unserious you are, okay. Just get used to it, because when you start working later on, you don't want to use very fancy fonts that makes your employers think that, is she serious? Okay. We are talking about something very important with our clients now. You might address it well, but the fonts that you use might also indicate, sometimes it's not only about seriousness, but it also shows, I know sometimes people use various types of fonts to show creativity. Okay. But if you want to use fonts, just make sure that it is easy to the eyes. Okay. Other than Arial is okay. You can use Times. I am not using, either one of those. Okay. What font is this? I can't remember. But it's just because I think it looks nice and I think it's not distracting. So, well, that's about it. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So if Marhaini, you have any other objection, you can ask directly. Oh, my bad. Actually, our participant is a multi-dimensional. I mean, we have a bachelor who are studying in undergraduate and also a master and a PhD. So this topic is very relevant right now, especially since the new normal, most of the time, we are presenting using either PowerPoint or the others. Okay, for the next question is coming from the Nurul Hayati in the chat Zoom. So her question is, for physical appearance during online presentation, do we must set a background image or color for our camera while presenting? And do you have any suggestion on background color or image so that our examiner or interviewer will have a great impression on us? Because we usually have online presentation during this pandemic situation. Okay, this is very related to the current event. Okay.
Okay, thank you very, very much for the question. Okay, it is about the background image. I understand that nowadays, when we use apps like this, there are various types of virtual backgrounds. Okay, I strongly suggest that if you are not sure, always use the background image, because sometimes when behind you is walls. Okay, it's just a wall. Okay, but if I turn off my background right now, behind me actually is a painting. Okay, and you may also be able to see some frame photos of myself, during my graduation days, my family photos. That can be a bit distracting to some of you. Well, I'm not saying that those are those are good pictures, of course. Okay, that's why I put it there. But some people, instead of listening to me, paying attention to my presentation, you might be looking, oh, what picture is that behind her? Oh, that's her graduation photo. Oh, okay. Oh, she wore like that. Okay, so things like that. Okay, so it is always good if it is not a virtual background that is already provided by the platform that you use, Zoom or WebEx or whatever. Okay, you can always use just a plain color. Okay, I do see this a lot when my students send in assignments. They usually use just the normal background in their house. Okay, where I can see the door. Okay, that I can see the frame. I can see, how is it like in their room. This is just, it is not compulsory, but it is always nice to, okay, just to make sure that you are not being judged based on where you are. Okay, but when choosing virtual backgrounds, avoid choosing something like, sometimes there are some backgrounds like as if you are, in the jungle, because that may be not very suitable, yeah. Depending on unless if you are talking, if this session is about conserving the environment, okay, forest conservation, okay, then I might want to use that background. Okay, so that's all.
Okay, thank you. So basically, our background is okay, right?
Oh yeah, of course, definitely. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, I guess
Okay.
for providing the background here.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So next question is coming from the Salma Izati binti Sinar Masuri from University Technology Mara. Doctor, how to tackle audience during virtual presentation? Because it's hard to see the audience. I think maybe that's all.
Okay, it is hard to see the audience. I guess this is about live presentation, yeah, not recorded. Okay, so I hope that you were captivated by me just now throughout my presentation. I hope, okay, so that I can say that I can give the answer right now. Well, just go back to the rules. Okay, people will be looking at you. People will be looking at your slides. Okay, so make sure your slides are just nice. Okay, not to worry. Otherwise, they would be, busy perusing the slides, reading every single line. Okay, and please, please, please avoid reading the slides. I am really allergic to this. I mean, not allergic. I mean, in that perspective. Okay, because when the slides is wordy and you read it, it just kills the interest of the audience. Okay, they say that okay, I know what she's going to talk about, and they can read by themselves. Okay, and as I said, physical appearance is also a good distraction. Okay, you want to look presentable, okay, because you want people to be looking at the slides and you alternately. Okay, when they are bored looking at the slides, they might be picking at you. Okay, she's talking about this right now. Okay, and always make sure that you vary the intonation. Okay, the voice, yeah, in terms of the pronunciation, articulation must be good. Okay, and it is not wrong for you to insert humor. Okay, but just don't overdo it. Okay, for instance, just now I was in doubt whether I should insert that slide about that senior psychological officer, right? But I think it is hilarious somehow, okay? Because it gives the wrong interpretation about that person. So I thought, okay, why not I just insert it in here? If you find it, humorous a bit, this is not about insulting people. This is just for educational purposes. That's why I covered the eyes of the person, yeah? Okay, so insert a little bit of humor or maybe a picture that is, that triggers curiosity. I'm not sure whether you realize in my last slide just now, there was a picture of a giraffe, in the clouds, right? That's just to trigger you, if you wonder, okay, why is there a giraffe in between the clouds? He can't be that tall, okay, but that's about it. Just about being outstanding, maybe, okay. just about something that is memorable. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Doctor. So I will just reminding for all the participants who have any queries, you can ask directly to Dr. Ismaniza or just write it down into Zoom chat or into the link that has given by the committee. We still have maybe 10 minutes left for this Q&A session. Okay, for the next question, Dr. Ismaniza.
Okay, hold on, Doctor. Can you just excuse me for 2 seconds?
Okay, thank you. Sure.
All right. So that's just. I was just turning on the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay.
For you guys.
All good?
Yeah, all good. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. So we have a question about from Fika, also from the University of Technology Mara. Thank you for the interesting talk of the Ismaniza. I have question. I tend to have a habit of slightly laughing when I receive a question, especially a difficult one, as I get nervous. How to get rid of it as it looks unprofessional? Nice.
Oh, okay. Like chuckling, I guess. Okay, you chuckle when you receive questions, yeah?
Especially a difficult one.
Okay. All right. That's a very challenging question.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Especially when you are not prepared to answer that question because you find it, you have to kill the time. Maybe that's why you chuckle. Yeah, you're trying to find ways to excuse yourself and think of the answer. All right. How to get rid of it as it looks unprofessional. All right. To avoid chuckling or laughing, right? Maybe you can opt it with saying, "Oh, that's a very good question, but I need to think something. I need to think of the answer. Let me, discuss it with my colleagues or something like that. Yeah? If you are allowed to discuss, if it is a group discussion, okay. So, just address the person who asked the questions accordingly, thanking them for the question, and then recap a bit, saying that that is a challenging question, and you may also ask further, are you just for clarification? Okay, do you mean it is about this and not about that? Okay, because when you clarify things, it may the question might not be as hard actually. Okay, maybe you can answer the question. It's just that you are overwhelmed with a sudden question like that. You don't know what to answer. Okay, but when you ask further, you will be able to answer it. Okay, just avoid chuckling. Okay, you might want to do just like this, like thinking. All right, okay, or maybe I can come up with an idea like this. You learn about gestures now. Okay, so that's make full use of it. Okay, because when this is at university level, but when you start working later on, you don't want to be laughing when in front of your boss, because he or she might think that you are not serious.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Dr. Fika. You have any objection to this? Okay. Thank you. So I have question myself, Doctor. This is I experienced lately, especially during this pandemic. The first one is, if you have any tips or tricks to do giving a lecture, especially in this late time, because some students are exhausted already. So you have any tips to wake them up to keep being engaged in our lecture during, especially in the afternoon time, like 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and so on.
All right, that's understandable. Okay, thank you for the question. I do have very morning lectures, which I think sometimes the students are still, sleepy. And I bet that it is also challenging, regardless of the time. Okay, 1 o'clock after lunch, we are full. When you are hungry, we cannot pay attention. When you're too full, you cannot pay attention. So there are all sorts of excuses, right? But apart from having some jokes, you can also alternate it with some games. Maybe not so much of games, but just not like Menti that I use just now. You can also use Slido. Okay, that is just to make sure that they participate. Okay, you can just pop up one question. Okay, just put one question and then you display the answer real time, and then they will be able to participate just to keep them awake. You can also use Kahoot. Okay, I use Kahoot sometimes. Because Kahoot, with Kahoot, you have to give the right answer and also a quick one. Okay, it's not only about getting things right all the time. So, if they don't want to miss it, then they would stay wide awake. They would stay agile at all times. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the tips, Doctor. I will try next time. Okay. So we have another question for Salma. Doctor, if we get the hard question from the floor, especially during the FIFA, and we don't have strong answer or probably don't have any answer, how to tackle the question? That is very nice.
All right. Rather than making up answers, okay, it is always good to admit that you do not know. Okay, but sometimes I understand, when it comes to Viva, it shows your weaknesses if you say that you do not know. Because if it is about your answer or your study, of course you should know, right? But maybe you can still try to answer, but by saying that, okay, I am not sure whether this addresses the question well, okay, but my answer is like this, so and so, okay. Just make it clear, okay, that you are trying to answer it, but to the best possible. Okay, don't simply goreng. Goreng. I mean, in Malaysia, we call it goreng. It's like making up. Okay, just just trying hard to answer, but actually it's not the answer at all. Okay, because that shows that okay, she's bluffing. We know that that is not the answer, and that gives that affects you so much. Okay, your marks will be affected because we know that you are just trying to bluff. Okay, if you do not know, admit it. Say sorry. Okay, but I'm not sure if this is what you mean. Okay, but I'll say my answer is like this. Okay, or if you have any other ways for me to improve it, say if they are saying, why don't you do this? Okay, maybe it makes you stun like, oh, okay, so I didn't do that. Okay, so thank you very much for the suggestion, sir, madam, okay, doctor, or whatever. Okay, I might want to include it in the next phase of my study, for instance. Okay, I will take note on that. Okay, we'll put it in the discussion section. Okay, so I guess that's the safest way to get away with it.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, sometimes I especially experience myself during the FIFA, especially when the referee asks some question that is very hard. At that time, I just looking for the looking for the. I just try to look like I can answer it by using any difficult terminology, but I think that is not gonna work. Yes, thank you, doctor. Okay, so guys, if you have any other question, you can just ask it directly or write it down in the chat. So let me check. Okay, so maybe we have 2 minutes left. So I will just ask one question, doctor. So for you, how do you recommend for students, whether it is they are undergraduate or postgraduate, to join the 3-minute thesis.
How to join the 3-minute thesis?
I mean, it is highly recommended, or how you recommend?
Okay, I would say it is highly recommended. Okay, because it is a big challenge. Okay, because you will have to compress everything in 3 minutes. Okay, sometimes it is not made compulsory, but it is good to challenge yourself. Okay, when I tried attending it, I tried participating in the 3-minute thesis. Actually, I didn't tell my supervisor because I was scared that, I won't do well.
Yeah.
And then after the first stage, then only I told him, actually I registered myself for the 3-minute thesis. And then he said, oh, that's good. Of course it is good because you are challenging yourself. Okay, you will be able to identify your weaknesses. Okay, because you will see many other people, okay, trying to deliver to the best possible. So you should feel pumped. Okay, you should feel excited to do the same. You shouldn't feel intimidated. Like, oh, everybody is doing so well and I am this crack. So there's no way I can win. No, this is not about winning. This is about, improving yourself along the way. Okay, we encourage students to participate. I do have some students whom I encourage. I said to them, don't worry, if you don't do well this time, you will be able to do better next time. Okay, because this presentation skill is not only to be used during your study. Okay, when you start working later on, okay, even if you are not an academician, not lecturers like us, you will still do presentations. Okay, not presentations with you're not necessarily with PowerPoint slides. You may have to, give talks. Okay, if suddenly in a meeting your boss asks you, okay, so what's your opinion on this? You can't be saying, sorry, I don't know what to say about this. I haven't given a thought about it. Okay, so it is just a short while. Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, but when you participate in that 3 minutes, it will feel so long. So this is a good practice for you for a longer presentation. Okay, once you have overcome that obstacle of 3 minutes, then like us giving lectures for 2-3 hours is nothing. Agree, Doctor?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ismaniza. Maybe that's all wrapping our session today. And I would like to thank once again for our spectacular speaker, Dr. Ismaniza Ismail, for her insight about presentation skills. It is now like our second home. Zoom meeting or Webex or the Google meeting is like our second home.
Oh yeah.
And we are like recently we are embedded to that. I would also like to thank for all the participants who have joined for today's webinar. And I just realized that our participant is not only from Indonesia, but around the world, and also a multi-dimensional from undergraduate and postgraduate students. And hopefully from these webinars, we can take a lot of input, a lot of inspiration on how delivering our presentation. Maybe next time, maybe 5 minutes after this event, maybe 10 minutes, who knows? So yeah, that's all, and I will give it back to the host. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Triyanda, Ms. Yashinta. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the excellent presentations, Dr. Ismaniza. And then for the next sessions, I would like to show some screens. Yeah, you would like to give our token of appreciations by giving certificate to the speaker and also the moderator. Thank you for your value contributions, Dr. Ismaniza. And we would like also to give the certificate to the moderator, Dr. Triyanda Gunawan. Thank you for your value contributions.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
And please for the next slides. We would like to announce that ITS has established Academic Writing Center, and it will launch around July 2021. So for all the postgraduate students that would like to have a one-on-one consultations or individual consultations, you can register to the Academic Writing Center. For the first round session, it will be held on 12 until 30 July, Monday to Friday, which the available time. And please register yourself before June 27, because it is a limited seat. Okay, you can use this opportunity to upgrade your thesis or dissertations to be published. Okay, please for the operator for the next slides. And we will have our last sessions on the stream sciences on June 24. Life strategy as researcher. Okay, and for the closing, we would like to have photo sessions for all the participants. Please turn on your camera. Pak Seno mulai potret ya Pak. Kita on kamera. Ready? I would like count to 3. 3, 2, 1, smile please. Pak Seno, please take picture of us again. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Oke, sudah dipotret Pak Seno? Oke, baik. Terima kasih atas partisipasinya untuk Dr. Ismaniza dan Dr. Triyanda. And thank you for all the participants. You can leave the room now. Pak Seno boleh mulai meng-turn off